The Season 3 premiere of The Gilded Age aired on June 22, 2025. This video is a follow-up to my breakdown of the Brooks' household downstairs staff. I had planned to cover the Russell house next, but never quite got around to it until now. With Season 3 upon us, I thought it would be a perfect time to dive in to an analysis of the Russell household staff. Now, if you'd like to check out my Brooks House video or any of my other Gilded Age content, I'll leave a link to the playlist at the end. In HBO's The Gilded Age, the Russell family is fictional, but they're inspired by the real-life Vanderbilts, once the wealthiest family in the United States. So with that in mind, I drew on research from Esther Crane, author of The Gilded Age in New York, 1870 to 1910, and founder of Ephemeral New York, as well as material from the Vanderbilt Mansion National Historic Site. According to their site, managing a house for luxurious living required a large staff of servants. As was customary in homes of the wealthy, 3 department managers, the housekeeper, butler, and chef supervised the Vanderbilt household staff. And in an interview with Tom and Lorenzo, costume designer Kasia Walicka-Maimone shared, "For Bertha's household, very few houses created uniforms for the servants, but there were a few who did, and we ran with that idea for Bertha's house." Now, let's take a closer look at some of the staff in the Russell household, starting with Church, the family's butler. According to Ephemeral New York, citing Mary Elizabeth Carter's 1903 book, Millionaire Households and Their Domestic Economy, in every household of any pretension to fashion, the butler looms up an imposing figure. His dignity must never be impeached. A butler needed strong management skills, overseeing up to 4 assistants, as well as neat handwriting and basic bookkeeping abilities. Carter doesn't list a salary for the role, but it was likely on par with that of the supervising housekeeper, somewhere between $50 and $150 a month. The Vanderbilt Mansion National Historic Site notes that servants wore uniforms known as livery, typically supplied by the family. They often had separate outfits for day and evening duties. Thomas Morgan, a houseman for the Vanderbilts from 1900 to 1909, recalled that butlers wore a businesslike gray and black suit during the day and changed into a formal tailcoat for evening meals. Now we see both of these looks on Church. His day livery consists of a black cutaway coat and matching waistcoat, gray formal striped trousers, sometimes known as sponge bag trousers, a white shirt with a wingtip collar, and a black bow tie. And for evening service, he changes into a classical black tailcoat with a shawl-colored waistcoat and white bow tie. And like Bannister, who's the Brooks house butler, Church always wears a gold pocket watch with a fob, an elegant and consistent touch. Mrs. Bruce is the housekeeper for the Russell family. According to Ephemeral New York, at the top of the hierarchy is the superintending housekeeper. Typically a woman, she oversees the rest of the household staff. She checks in with the cook about the day's menu, inspects rooms for cleanliness, and can even take the place of the mistress by hiring and firing servants. Her monthly pay, $50 to $150. Now, Mrs. Bruce's livery echoes the silhouette of her employer's wardrobe, but it's made from more modest suiting. I particularly love how the striped fabric is used as a design detail in the pleating on both the bodice and skirt, and how the look is finished with matching fabric-covered buttons down the front. The outfit is softened with a lace jabot, lace cuffs, and a brooch at her throat. She also wears a timepiece, similar to a vintage bow-style brooch watch. Now, while it might seem odd that she appears to only have one dress, it could have been common for her to spot clean her outer garment and regularly launder underpinnings like her chemise, drawers, and corset cover. Now, for filming, though, it's likely the costume department created multiples. In one scene, for example, they even added a white lace fichu collar to slightly alter her look. Monsieur Baudin is the chef for the Russell family in New York, posing as French to secure the prestigious position. Ephemeral New York quotes Mary Elizabeth Carter, who calls the chef the gastronomical director of the household with a salary of around $100. French cuisine was in vogue at the time, so being French was often key to landing elite culinary roles. According to the Vanderbilt Mansion National Historic Site, the chef would prepare breakfast trays and include the day's proposed menus for Mrs. Vanderbilt's approval. These chefs, trained in the French culinary tradition, were described as simple, hardworking, and self-respecting individuals. The modern chef's uniform was first sketched by famed chef Marie-Antoine Carême in 1822 and later standardized by Auguste Escoffier. His vision, a white toque, double-breasted jacket with knotted cloth buttons, long white apron, and black and white checkered pants, became the standard by the late 19th century, just around the time the Gilded Age is set. Monsieur Baudin wears a version of this uniform, a white toque, a white double-breasted jacket with knotted cloth buttons, and a long half apron. Interestingly, his pants appear to be solid black rather than the traditional check pattern. Now, at times, he swaps out his chef's whites for a more relaxed look, which is a white shirt, high-waisted black trousers, cream waistcoat, pocket watch, and neckerchief. Now, when prepping food, he adds a flat cap and rolls up his sleeves. Now, that said, it's curious that he doesn't consistently wear the chef's coat while cooking. The coat was designed to protect both the chef and the food. Wearing a waistcoat with buttons or studs on a dress shirt could pose a hazard, as those pieces might fall into the food. While this may have been a decision made for the actor's comfort or style variety, it does stray from historical practicality. If you're new to the channel and enjoying this content, please consider subscribing. And if you're a returning viewer and would like to support my work, I've created a Patreon with 4 membership levels. Your support helps me keep making videos like this one. I'll leave a link in the description below if you'd like to check it out. Now let's move on to Watson, George Russell's valet. According to Ephemeral New York, the valet is the male counterpart to the lady's maid, a personal assistant responsible for tasks like pressing clothes, preparing baths, and accompanying his employer on trips. In this case, Watson handles all of this for Mr. Russell. Watson's livery closely resembles that of Church, the butler. He wears high-waisted striped trousers, a gray shawl collar waistcoat with fabric-covered buttons, a black cutaway coat, and a white shirt with a starched stand-up collar and cuffs. His look is finished with a 4-in-hand tie secured with a gold tie pin, gold cufflinks, and a silver pocket watch and fob. Now, it is possible that some of his jewelry pieces are remnants of his former life as Mr. Collier. On his day off, Watson cuts a sharp figure in a brown-gray tweed 3-piece walking suit paired with a brown felt derby hat. Now let's talk about Enid Winterton, née Turner. Bertha Russell hires Enid because although Bertha is part of the nouveau riche, she's eager to learn the customs of the old New York society. Enid's former mistress belonged to one of those old money families and passed away from a heart attack, prompting Enid's move. Ephemeral New York describes the lady's maid as the person who tends to her mistress's toiletry needs, wardrobe, and social preparations. But as Mary Elizabeth Carter warns, however luxurious the surroundings, that is not an ideal life where one must constantly be at the beck and call or subject to the caprice of another during all 24 hours, day in and day out. Now, given the exhausting demands of her position, it's no surprise that Enid had ambitions beyond her servitude. Despite its simplicity and solid black color, I really love Enid's livery. It's a matching bodice and skirt made from rib suiting with a pleated bib at the neckline trimmed in braid. The bodice features a stand-up collar, a row of small fabric-covered buttons, and pleated silk accents on the collar and cuffs. Her look is finished with delicate cameo drop earrings and a matching cameo bar brooch, refined but understated. And then her away-from-work look is this pretty brocade walking suit. Adelheid Weber, born in Berlin, Prussia, works as a household maid for the Russell family and is later promoted to lady's maid for Miss Gladys Russell. She also briefly served as Bertha Russell's lady's maid before Miss Andre was hired. As a housemaid, Someone like Adelheid would typically be assigned to a specific room or suite, responsible for dusting, bed making, including airing out linens, cleaning and sweeping embers from the fireplace. According to Thomas Morgan, the Vanderbilt maids wore a dark afternoon dress with an apron and cap. Adelheid's housemaid livery features a striped dress, either in light blue or red, with a starched linen collar, cuffs, and a cap. She also wears a simple half apron. But then once promoted to lady's maid, Adelheid's wardrobe becomes more refined. Her black ensemble is similar to Armstrong's in the Brooke household, a two-piece set made from a black jacquard with a kind of swirling pattern and accented with black velvet on the lapels, collar, and cuffs. Panels of velvet also decorate the skirt. The bodice is trimmed with off-white bobbin lace, and like Mrs. Bruce, she wears a gold brooch watch pinned to her bodice. The look is completed with delicate drop earrings. Now off-duty, Adelheid dresses in youthful, fashionable silhouettes in bright colors, often accessorized with gloves, a hat, a reticule, and a parasol. The footmen. Of all the Russell household staff, the footmen are the most visually striking. According to the Vanderbilt Mansion National Historic Site, they were supervised by the butler and worked in alternating full-day and half-day shifts. Their duties included preparing the dining rooms for meals, polishing floors and tables, receiving linens from the housekeeper, keeping the silverware in top condition, serving lunch and dinner, attending to bells and the telephone, pulling shades, and preparing tea trays. Historically, livery was a highly symbolic uniform. As the Attire's Mind blog explains, livery originally signified a servant's allegiance to a noble household with colors and insignia reflecting the family's identity. Inside, the Huntington Story blog notes that a full livery was especially worn at formal dinners, parties, and entertainments, and could be highly ornate, featuring embroidered colors such as red and gold or blue and gold. Over time, livery extended beyond noble houses, becoming a marker of wealth and status. Some families even rented liveried servants for major events to create the right impression. By the 19th century, it was common for footmen to wear uniforms that deliberately evoked 18th century fashion, adding a touch of grandeur and theatricality to their appearance. Now, in the Gilded Age, the Russell household featured 4 livery color schemes: blue, red, blue and gold, and red and gold. While all of the livery is decorated with gold trim, the blue and gold and red and gold livery sets are the fanciest and reserved for more formal dinners. Each footman wears a white shirt and bow tie, as seen here, sitting at the table without their jacket, along with white hose and black shoes with gold buckles. I'll have more Gilded Age content coming your way soon. In the meantime, check out my video on the jewelry and crowns featured in this series. And if you enjoy this kind of content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks so much for spending time with me. I'll see you in the next video.